This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Oh, time to have a chat to Beth Mooney, absolute superstar of Australian women's cricket. Tomorrow, the Scorchers are up against the Brisbane Heat. We need to get to the WACA and support our girls. 5:10 is our first... I was going to say kickoff, but the first ball will be bowled. We need to get behind the Perth Scorchers because you're just outside the finals at the moment. Beth, good morning.
G'day, how you going?
Hey, Beth.
Yeah, good.
Hey, Beth, we were just saying Jesse Wagstaff was just on the news and we are talking about him and I said, I wonder how long Jesse can go going for. About 38 years old, is that right? Yeah? Apparently, going right?
483 NBL games.
Brad Hogg played the cricket for how long?
Well, he was 42, 43.
Yeah, about that, I reckon.
Beth, what do you think? What can you predict about your future? When do you reckon you're going to...
I don't reckon I've got 480 games in me, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, but you've got all forms. You're playing a lot of games. You've got all forms and competitions all around the world these days.
I won't be able to walk at the end of
I know. Well, you're keeping all the time. It's not good for your knees.
No.
Yeah. So he's keeping... Is it knees? Is that the thing?
Yeah, and your back.
And your back.
Yeah.
What did you get, Shaun? He's got everything.
I've got all those problems. And you know, what I can't do these days is squat very well. So you've got any problems with your... Is that a thing that... Sorry, do you do low-range movements, strength conditioning to be able to make sure you can do that stuff?
Nah, not low range, probably higher range through full movement, I guess. But yeah, it's... Unfortunately, they can't measure the load of a wicketkeeper on the GPS unit, so it looks like we're the lazy ones that don't run much. But can assure you it's hard yakka.
You're the ones doing all the chirping, all the sledging, which I love.
Because you can't get down.
Yeah, I can't. I can't drop it like it's hot anymore.
Yeah, so if you have to get something from under the sink or do something in a squat position for a while, what do you do? Sit on the floor on your bum? Oh, no, that story.
Yeah, you know how that ends. Not well.
Get a job in radio.
Beth, yeah, so tell us about the weekend's game, first of all. It didn't go your way against the Renegades.
Yeah, we were probably a bit off in all facets of the game, to be honest, which was disappointing after our game here at home on Sunday last week against the Melbourne Stars. So, probably one of those games that you kind of just let go and don't really review too much and overthink. But looking ahead to a couple of big games against the Brisbane Heat and Melbourne Renegades, hopefully we can get one back on them on Thursday.
Yeah, the push to the finals is on.
Yeah, it's hard to know where it's going to end up. I think we're only 2 games into the tournament out of 10, so obviously it's a reduced season, so it makes every game pretty crucial. But we've got a couple of games on a few teams, so hopefully a couple of wins this week means we can leapfrog some people.
Now you're a pretty chill person, if you're not getting that vibe. Do you have a cricket nemesis? Someone on the team that's your Voldemort?
In my own team?
Yeah, no, on another team. Do you have another?
Not really. I'm a pretty competitive person against everyone that doesn't play for the Perth Scorchers, to be honest. So, no, I don't have one person
Shaun, did you ever have a person that you just...
Lots of people I didn't like. Like all of them. As soon as you play and cross that line.
White line fever.
I hate everybody.
Really?
Yeah. The only team I got along with back in my day, sorry, Beth, to jump in here, but Brisbane was a team that we went away on our end-of-season trip and they were over there and we ended up bonding and we're just hanging out. So when I played them, it was difficult to not have that game face on at times.
But you got to a point during the game where you hated them?
Yeah, because
that's good.
So Jonathan Brown was do you know Jonathan Brown at all, Beth?
Very well. No.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
Yeah. Well, when he gets on the field, we got along really well, but when he gets on the field, he'll shake your hand and it's all this, great to see you, mate. But then you can see his eyes change before the bounce down happens and he spits in his hands and he rubs them together and you just know, you just can't get in his way because it's all out the door, as you know, when you're out there competing.
He's got slag hands.
I think there was an interview done a few months ago at one of our content camps, and one of the questions was what team do you love to beat in the WBBL? And that was a pretty common answer in Brisbane Heat. So I wasn't the one that said that. My former team, but Brisbane Heat's probably up there with teams we like to beat.
It has to be for a reason. So I just like Brownie. He was an angry person. So who's the people up there that gets you offside, or
is it just? Is it their vibe that they give out?
I think it's their vibe.
Their vibe,
I think just the way they play their cricket a little bit. So everyone likes to beat them. So it'll be a big game on Tuesday. They lost to the Hobart Hurricanes on the weekend, so they'll be looking to get ahead on the table just like we will. So hopefully it's a pretty tight contest.
Absolutely. I want to get you to weigh in on the because the talk at the moment is who's going to open for the Australian cricket team. Now, you know all about this more than anyone you know. Can the 3 openers that we've seen so far, who have all failed in these warm-up games, can they be bypassed because Nathan McSweeney is the one who's down their list who's scored some runs on the weekend. And people are wondering... that's not his position to start and open. You picked teams before. It's a specialist position, right?
Well, I haven't picked teams. I'm not a selector, but I think...
Don't as being a captain, you get a call on how things go along the journey?
I don't captain much. I'm like the fill-in captain when I need to do it. But I reckon it's a tough one. Like, obviously, there's been a lot of chat around the fact that the test team's a bit of an ageing side. We don't want to be ageist, but there's probably a good opportunity for them to get a young player in. Obviously, being a WA player, it'd be nice to see Cameron Bancroft up the top of the order.
I love this. Just for people listening that don't know cricket, what's a young player versus what's an ageing player?
Well, they're all pretty much over 30 in the test team now. So
all the men are, they're done.
Yeah, and I'm over 30 as well. So maybe
your test team?
No, you're playing till you're 48.
But I think Bangers would be a good option. Obviously scored a lot of runs for WA in the last few years. That's got to count for something. But also I'm a big fan of Nathan McSweeney. I've known him a little bit. He came through the NPS, the National Performance Squad program when I still live in Brisbane, but I saw him around a bit. He's just got a good temperament about him. He's a great leader, great young leader that's coming through the ranks and obviously shown his class in the last few months. So it's going to be a very interesting decision that the Australian selectors make, and everyone's obviously talking about it. So, stay tuned. I guess we'll find out in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll certainly find out how the Perth Scorchers will go tomorrow against the Brisbane Heat. We'll watch you, and hopefully you can tonk a few over the fence and we get the job done.
That'd be nice. A few 4s and 6s, so less running.
Let's
go.
Thanks, Beth. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Time to talk all things sport with Yvonne Sampson. You'll be able to... there's no off-season, should I say, with Kayo Sports. You need to get on board today, and that's me every single day of the week. Yvonne, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Yvonne.
We're wonderful, actually.
Yeah.
It's been another big weekend of sport, as it always is. I want to ask you the breakdown of getting the opener for an Australian cricket team decided. It seems like it hasn't gone too well for a couple of East Coasters and a West Australian.
Well, I was surprised because, as you know, it's cricket season. We are about to begin. And David Warner is officially going to be in the Fox cricket commentary box. I thought he put his hand up to open for the Aussies, but we will have him in commentary alongside with Gilly.
That's good. He's so relatable since he got rid of the car with the uppy doors. Remember?
That's correct. Yes, that's right.
The hinges don't go the way the poor people's hinges do.
Yeah, they're confusing. They go up, yes. So he'll be joined by Wazam Akram and Ravi Shastri and Harsha Bogle and the beautiful and world-class Ishigur and Alan Border. And, of course, Kerry O'Keefe will have all of his jokes ready to roll out over the summer because the ODIs, they begin today at the MCG. Then we're off to Adelaide. And then, of course, Perth on Sunday, so a massive summer of cricket coming up. Yeah,
the first 3 against Pakistan. Nathan, we welcome India to town. We play all the test matches. I know you don't care about cricket. It's not
Yvonne, do you really care for cricket, really, in your heart of hearts, do you?
Well, I mean, I would caution against it, but if anyone jumps onto YouTube and there's Yvonne Sampson cricket, it's some of my best work on the hill at North Sydney. So,
you're sculling a few jars, were you?
See, out of our team, I'm the one that doesn't understand the cricket. For me, Yvonne, I always say if a seagull can stand next to you doing it, it's not a sport. And I have played at the WACA. I have faced Mitch Marsh in the nets. I've done the most cricket stuff out of this team, and I'm the one that does them on cricket. It's unbelievable. So, is there a sport, Yvonne, because you're a sports journalist, is there a sport that you have to do for your job that you don't particularly like, and is that harder?
Do you know, when I was first, I've covered sport really since I graduated uni. So that was 23 years ago. So I've done a little bit of everything. Growing up in Queensland, there was a lot of surfing, surf life-saving, swimming, triathlons, all that sort of
stuff. Ironman series, how good.
Loved it. Amazing.
But how do you report on that? You have to run after them the whole time. It's like, how do you see what's going on?
I can definitely not run. The only thing I can run is a bath. But thank God they stop and talk to when you're trying to do your stories. But I think when I was working out in the regions, probably covering things like pigeon racing and
Shaun.
those really obscure things. You go, yeah, I'm into this. Like,
You know
I love
what?
this.
How
Yvonne, you brought
dare
that
you
up.
speak
You brought
ill
that
of
up.
the pigeon industry?
My whole life, my dad is a mad pigeon racer, and my whole life was waiting for pigeons to land and collecting them and doing all that and get involved in my local pigeon racing club.
But it's fascinating.
That's ridiculous,
but I
isn't
had
it?
no idea what I was looking at or, who I was talking to.
It's
but
been
I
in
was
it.
fully
What
involved.
the rules were? I think that pigeon's been done for travelling. I don't know.
Honestly, my dad was out of it for years once, and then recently we'll ring you up to see if he'd come along and watch our kids play footy on this particular weekend.
He did not have a pigeon thing on.
He had a couple of races and he had to be home to watch.
Where? But where were the races? They're happening in the sky, of course. But
They
where?
get taken out to a country town, as Yvonne would know, because she's reported on this, and they got let go, and then they fly back to your house.
Does everyone just look up?
What do you mean, look up?
Like when it's a race, so when you're watching the Grand Prix, you're watching the cars.
No, because they're in a country town, and you're back at your house.
Right. But there's no camera on them or anything? It's
No.
like someone goes to release and that's it. Is that fun for them?
That's it.
Oh.
That's it.
Yvonne, I get it.
Hey, Yvonne, I reckon one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because I've been following and to see what was going on with the Perth Bears, and that is the opportunity for an NRL team to be based here. And, of course, the North Sydney Bears were one of the big teams in the competition for so many years. Peter V'landys has put down, a line in the sand for the WA government to come and say, right, are you either paying to be a part of this or we're not coming over. Where does it stand at the moment?
Well, we were really disappointed. We thought it was a done deal.
Yeah.
And everyone here was very excited to see the Bears brand back up and running. I mean, they play in the New South Wales Cup and they've still got such a massive following because it's such a famous, iconic brand. So when Peter V'landys came out and said, look, we're going to need this money for the licence, and I don't think that was initially factored into the bid. So what we thought was already going to be signed on the dotted line, and everyone was already booking their trips over to Perth, and everyone was very, very excited.
So you thought it was like
I think we've had to pump the brakes.
a no more to pay drive away situation, but there was an asterisk next to it.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
right.
But it's not dead in the water.
Yeah.
But I think we'd love to see rugby league expand, and we've been over to Perth many times, and we've cherished our time over there. We really appreciate that there is such a rugby league community over there as well. So you guys get Origin. I think we took round 1 over there one year. We had the Perth Nines. We love getting over there. It's just so fun, and it feels very fresh, and you meet new fans, and to see the engagement from the local rugby league fans is really encouraging. So hopefully, fingers crossed, not dead in the water.
I've never heard of the Bears. You said it was one of the most iconic brands. I've never heard of them.
They're very
So
iconic.
what bear are they? Like what's the picture of? What's the bear? What sort of bear is it?
That's a good
It
question.
looks like just a bog standard brown bear, I reckon.
Yeah.
When you see a dog and you don't know the breed, it's just a dog, a brown dog.
Hey, Yvonne, with Perth coming into the competition, let's say this is going to go ahead. I'd imagine it'd have to at some stage, right? So they would be playing here. Would their away games in New South Wales, or would some of their home games be played at North Sydney Oval?
Yeah, North Sydney, which has still got a cricket pitch in the middle.
Yeah,
So, bit of a throwback to the old days. So just go easy on tackling around the middle.
Oh, you would, yeah. Put the sand patch in.
North Sydney is it's such a beautiful place to watch sport, and very much so. That would really tie into what you said. It was like that iconic and that historic feel to the Bears. So fans really want to have that engagement. They want to go out to the North Sydney. They want to be able to cheer on the Bears back in the National Rugby League. And, of course, you would have so many new fans in the West. And, it would be a wonderful thing for the sport. And, of course, there are other bids that are very, very strong as well. And the NRL is expanding, so everything is a live option at the moment. But, always fascinating when it comes up to the topic of expansion. And, Peter V'landys is very forthright in growing the sport. And we saw that even at the start of this season when we kicked off in Vegas. And it was pretty groundbreaking and special to be part of. So, lots more things happening in rugby league world.
Adding an element to the day, you talking about them having to play around the cricket pitch. That's hilarious. Back in the day when ovals weren't the best, and it's like, don't go near that bit. That's
all our footy games. They were just covered in yellow sand. And you just had to work your way through it. Hey, Yvonne, thanks so much. There's no off-season with Kayo Sport. Get on board today, Yvonne. Have a great day. Thanks for your time.
Yep.
Thanks, boys. See you later.
We'll send you an official race invite to the next pigeon meet as well for Shaun's dad if you're interested. Yes.
Look
You can
forward
cover
to
it.
it.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.